Blessings, blessings, and grand risings, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Miss Grace in the mornings. Let me see, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, yes. Today, we were planning to do a live on ICE, giving an update on what's going on with ICE. If you don't know, I do lives 3 days a week where I highlight social issues, political issues from a non-biased perspective. Okay, so we've been breaking down a lot of key crazy things that's been happening in America, outside of America, related to this administration. So my actual broadcast today was supposed to highlight where we were at with ICE movement and how much they were spending, where they were at, just some key information about how many people have been locked up and deported. But before we can get there, there has been some breaking news. In the last 24 hours, an ICE agent has unalived a Minneapolis woman by the name of Miss Nichole Good. So I want to start by giving love and blessings to Miss Nichole Good first and foremost, because we're not going to just report this story as something that's just happening, as this is just something to talk about. Again, I try to report from a humane, respected perspective. If you don't know, my name is Miss Grace, and what we do here 3 days a week is we talk about these issues from a non-biased perspective. So as the notifications go out, we're about to get the broadcast started to figure out what happened in the last 24 hours with this young lady.
An ICE agent shooting and killing a woman in her car. A violent incident playing out as cameras roll. A warning, this video is disturbing.
Oh my goodness.
That video shows the ICE agent opening fire today on the female driver, now identified as 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good. DHS claims she tried running agents over and that she was shot in self-defense. The killing is drawing swift condemnation from witnesses and community lawmakers. It's also sparking outrage with vigils and protests across the country, including right here in Southern California. Eyewitness News reporter Abigail Velez is live in downtown LA with this one place where angry demonstrators have taken to the streets. Abigail, what are they calling for today?
Well, accountability, Mark. A lot of the protesters here at La Cita on Veracruz tell me they want this ICE agent prosecuted to the fullest extent of come to an end. Were attempting to push out their vehicle and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them. But again, the witness video showing the moments just before the shot has raised serious questions about that claim. The aftermath is spilled into the street, with demonstrations breaking out near the shooting scene. In this video, a federal agent is seen firing a pepper ball directly into a man's face.
Oh, sorry, y'all. Here they go again. I do apologize, guys. That caught me off guard. Just know that I'm watching everything raw with you guys. If y'all don't know who I am, this is Miss. My name is Miss Grace, and what we're going to be doing is breaking down the sequence of events. We're going to be watching the story from different perspectives and depicting the lie. From this first clip, we can already see that this is a whole bold-faced lie again. This is not the first time that ICE have done this. We have 35 deaths in ICE custody in the jails alone, but we also have at least 5 people. I'm going to verify that has been unalive. I'm going to verify. I definitely know 2 that was in the south side of Chicago, where it was the gentleman who was unalive with the same scenario, a Spanish guy that they accosted. And let me correct the other lady named Miss Maria. I think her name Rodriguez. She survived being shot 6 times. Okay, so this is where we're at. Again, we're just on video number 1, so it doesn't even seem like we need to watch so many different clips because you can obviously see what is going on here.
So did demonstrations, including here in Los Angeles, where people, even families, came together to protest and mourn.
People are just devastated, and they see that this is not the first time ICE has killed someone, and it's not looking to be the last time unless people stand up and organize.
This protester holding a candle with the face of the victim. She has been identified as Renee Nicole Good, a 37-year-old mother. According to the Minnesota Star Tribune, Good was shot just a few blocks away from her home and leaves behind a 6-year-old child. As hundreds chanted her name at a vigil in Minneapolis, her memory traveling far beyond the block where she died.
The impunity with which this administration is coming after people that are
living earnestly and honestly in their communities is really scary.
All right, so that's the first clip. Now I want to highlight this. Now we watch what Bavino went through when he was testifying, okay, where he was under fire for shooting the pastor in the head with the pepper ball, okay. Obviously, because he hasn't got any recompense or any hit on the hand for that, that this behavior is getting worse and worse. They're showing you in real time that people are getting shot in the face, directly in the face with a pepper ball, instead of trying to accost the guy or simply using the de-escalation measure, like backing away from the protesters. So this is another news broadcast. This is brought to you by Minneapolis, St. Paul. We're going to watch it a few different times, and then we're going to build up the narrative to hear a little bit more of what legal analysts has to say about this situation, as well as the contradictions and the boldness thereof of Trump right now addressing this particular situation.
Covered with Mike Manzoni. Mike is in Minneapolis as well.
And Mike, eyewitness video captured the shooting from multiple angles today.
And Kelsey and Randy, you'll see two of those videos in just a moment. The Department of Homeland Security says that the woman who died was using her SUV as a deadly weapon, and that the agent who shot and killed her was simply defending himself, though of course many people disagree with that telling of the story. The two videos you're about to see will likely play a role as investigators look into what happened and determine whether it was justified.
And as you can see, now we're going to stop because this officer right here and right here was not in front of her car. They're going to replay it again and we're going to watch it. Obviously, they're running with the same narrative that they ran with the last two shootings. That's why this is so ridiculous and sad at the same instincts, because my thing is you can't come up with a better narrative, and we have numerous cameras around watching you guys. This is a whole glass of they don't give a F. That's just how I feel, especially to run the same play and the same lie repeating repetitively on the news to us. Here we go again.
The moment that an ICE agent opened fire, shooting into an SUV and killing the driver. You can see several agents approach the maroon SUV. That's when the woman starts backing up as one agent keeps his hand on the driver's side door. Just behind him, another agent stands near the front of the vehicle.
No.
He's the one who shoots the woman, firing once
This
through
guy.
the windshield and two more times through the open driver's side window. But another video shows it all from another angle. This is the video that President Trump referred to on social media when he defended the agent's actions. From this view, you can see that agent toward the front of the SUV, and it appears that the vehicle
Let's watch
does
this again,
hit him.
y'all.
And it appears
Hold
that the
on,
vehicle
let's watch this again.
From this view, you can see that Trump referred to on social media when he defended the agent's actions. From this view, you can see that agent toward the front of the SUV, and it appears that social media when he defended the agent's actions. From this view, you can see that agent toward the front of the SUV.
Okay, so let's talk about it, because now that from that view, you can see the officer kind of in front of the vehicle by the light. Okay, but we're going to talk about what is the procedures of officers dealing with vehicles and accosting them, because I don't know the particular laws in this state, even though we know this is a federal thing. I would assume that one of the things that officers are told, never stand directly in front of a vehicle, especially when you have two officers already, one in the back, two on the side. Why would you be right there as though you can actually stop a car with your vehicle? So I'm looking at procedure wise, this was stupid. Obviously, you know that these people who are ICE agents, they are not trained, and they're literally just picking them up off of anywhere. I think these people are antagonists. Some of these people, I think they're sleeper cells as well, that has infiltrated ICE as well, and just took this opportunity to kick Americans' butt and to just be reckless. As we were supposed to talk about today, one ICE agent being supposed to be deported Okay, that's what we were supposed to talk about today. And other ICE agents, taking their mothers to uh, um, appointments for their immigration papers. That's what we were supposed to do. But I'm getting a little sidetracked. But I'm going to be honest. The officer was in front of the car, and I'm glad we're watching different angles. I'm going to get to your comments, and you tell me what you think about this. As far as procedures, do you think that the officer had the right to be in front of the car? Was that a good idea? Did she actually hit him? Let's get to it.
Into what happened and determine whether it was justified.
Oh, goodness gracious.
No!
Jesus, Jesus.
No! Shame!
An eyewitness recorded this video showing the moment that an ICE agent opened fire, shooting into an SUV and killing the driver. You can see several agents approach the maroon SUV. That's when the woman starts backing up as one agent keeps his hand on the driver's side door. Just behind him, another agent stands near the front of the vehicle into what happened and determine whether it was justified.
Okay, so my question is too, I have a few questions. What was going on prior to this that the lady was diagonal into the street? There's some factors that I do want to know. I'm also thinking about this, and I have to be honest because when I talk to you guys, I talk to you guys from a non-biased perspective. As y'all guys know, I have my uncle who was a former ICE agent who unalived himself from suicide. I tell you guys that not to just blow your mind, but to let you guys know that I kind of not understand them because I'm not part of them, but I have been around these type of officers. I talked to him and ask them different questions. So I do have, respect and honor for those positions. But at the end of the day, I'm going to call a cat a cat, a dog a dog. So my question is, why was she pulled off like that? Okay. I know that hurts for the family to hear that, but that's something that we have to take in consideration when we're dealing with rogue officers as well. And I'm just being honest. Us as citizens, we're going to have to learn how to deal with these rogue officers, and we do de-escalation. Now, people who know me that I'm not being fictitious because it's actually a case that I have been following for over a year and a half that took place on the South Side that was pretty much similar to this. Is the Alexis Wilson case where the cop jumped into the car and shot her 7 times and under the same pretense of something like this, okay? And I did not agree with the officer taking those steps. So we have to understand law. Now I have to figure out, and I'm going to relay this to you guys on later date, what law takes precedence in Minneapolis versus federal law. And I want to compare it because when it comes to federal and law, you can bring different state law into your argument, especially if you have one case here and one case there. Let me just tell you this on the legal aspect because we're going to get to that. There is a Supreme Court case that just passed probably like a year ago, most recently, and they brought it back down to the state court where it was another incident where a gentleman, he had a rental car. The rental car had expired tags or something. Regardless, they were trying to pull him over, and they pulled him over. He had the door open, and then he tried to pull off, and the cop jumped on the car and shot him. The mother has been trying to get, and I'm telling you these stories because we talk about case law and the legalities of this. So we have to compare and contrast because when they're in court, they use these different precedents to kind of fight cases. So I'm just throwing this out there to you guys so y'all can know that this is not something that has not happened before. You know what I'm saying? But it's just how they're going to approach it. The lies for me here. But in that particular case, the Supreme Court shot that case back down with the young man who pulled off, who had the rental car. And they basically set a new precedent where they have this law where this is how officers kind of get immunity for excessive force cases. And let's just talk about it a little bit. They get immunity because they are evaluated based on their perception of fear, their perception of their life being in danger. That's why they always throw that statement out, oh, my life is in danger, because that's the president to say, okay, you have the determination to evaluate what is excessive at this point to save your life and everybody's life. So let's keep this in mind. So Now the court has brung the case down and gave an opinion basically saying we're not going to only evaluate the officer's actions based on their perception, but it's actually the totality of the situation. Was it lawful? Before this happened and they felt like their life was in danger, was they doing something lawful? So in that particular case, they threw it back down to the state court because they said, hey, why would you jump on the car? Any common person or officer would know not to, just jump on the car like you Superman. Instead, back up, because when he pulled off, you imagine someone being in between the door and the car, the person inside, and the person pull off. The best thing to do is let the damn car just go, but the officer jumped on it. So I'm giving you these examples so we can start thinking outside the box, because again, we got mega supporters here like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And we're going to have to keep in mind, not only that Trump is spending money like he's going to have to deal with, or not him, we're going to have to deal with what is the tail end of all of this. And this is lawsuits against the state to the Fed, which I think is what they're trying to do, is create the civil war through that particular manner. Okay, letting the states get sick and tired of the feds, because you hear this governor saying, get the hell out, get the hell out. Okay, so I know I gave you a mouthful, but let's just bring Miss Renee Good, Nicole, I'm sorry, yeah, Renee Nicole Good to life. Okay, because she's a human, she's a woman, she's a mother. So I think I had to clear a little bit of the stereotype that may start going out, like, oh, she pulled off and this, that, and the third, because I already hit a nerve. I asked why, but at the end of the day, she's not the only one who have done this. And there's some cases that's creating precedent right now that may lead this definitely in the right direction. As I say, getting justice, not only the lies for me, but now they have the right to evaluate the case to the whole totality. So city leaders have identified the woman killed during the immigration and custom enforcement operation that we want to know what were they doing in Minneapolis Wednesday as 37-year-old Miss Renee Nicole Good, a federal and local official officer, sharply different accounts of what has happened to this young lady. So this is what we're going to get into, the opposition. One person is saying this and someone else is saying that. Not only what we see, but we got some contradictions on day one. So the fatal shooting occurred during the ICE enforcement operation in South Minneapolis, according to the Department of Homeland Security, which said agents were attempting to make an arrest when Good tried to use her vehicle as a weapon against the officer, prompting the federal agent to fire in self-defense. So was she getting accosted, or was she trying to block somebody? This is some of the things that's missing here. Good was pronounced unalive after being struck by gunfire. The agent involved has not been publicly identified, and the incident remains under investigation. Members of the Minneapolis City Council confirmed Good's identity in a joint statement Wednesday, calling her a member of our community and demand the ICE agents leave ASAP. So this was her vehicle right here. Must have crashed into something. So it says this morning the ICE agent shot and killed Renee Nicole Good, a member of our community. The statement says that anyone who kills someone in our city deserves to be arrested, investigated, and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. The city council members said that they support Minneapolis immigrant community and accused federal agent authorities of bringing chaos and violence. And again, this is what we brought up here, that there was not chaos and it was violence. Let's say, I'm gonna keep it real. We had crime in America. Why not? We have poverty. But did we have it to this extent where people was taken to the streets, cars being crashed into each other, into things, insurance policies, premiums going up, no investigations? I'm just going off on a tangent. Okay, so let's just go into who Miss Renee Good is, and then we're gonna move on. Okay, you see, it's the harm for me. It's the tactics that they're doing for me. So Good's mother, Donna Ginger, told Minnesota Star Tribune that her daughter lives in Twin Cities with her partner, and they had and that the family was notified of her death on Wednesday morning. This is so stupid. She was killed. Ginger told the outlet after learning details of the incident. She was probably so terrified. And again, let's highlight this. I have to highlight this because in the story of Alexis Wilson, the story that I was investigating on the South Side, as I got to know the mother, this is one of the things that she told me. Over time, she started to tell me about the young girl personality. And she told me that basically she was just like a runner. Like if somebody do something, say something, she run it. Like she's a scary runner. So this is also something we have to take in consideration behind the why she fled or hit the gas, because this is the same thing that the young lady did. So this is how her mother is describing her. She's like, this is the same thing. So I'm kind of getting deja vu, y'all. Rest in peace to Alexis Wilson. Love to her mother, Carl Wilson, who was still fighting for justice to get that rogue officer off the street. But anyway, let's finish. Let's read this a little bit because I wanted you guys to get to know Ginger. I'm not Ginger. Get to know Nichole a little bit, so we don't look at her just as a body or just as a number. And we kind of look at the why behind why somebody would do something so reckless. Because that's what I had to find out too. Like, why would she pull off like that? But then psychologically looking at it, people respond to things different. So Ginger told the newspaper her daughter was not involved in protests against ICE agent and described Good as one of the kindest people I ever know, calling her compassionate and devoted to caring for others. According to the Star Tribune, Good was previously married to a gentleman, I'm not going to put his name out, who passed away in 2023 at the age of 36. So she was a widow, very young. It says her father told the outlet that the couple had a child together and that she had planned to travel to care for the child following Good's death. Okay, so that's something I don't want to dig into. According to the description of what appears to be Good's Instagram account, she describes herself as a poet and a writer and a wife and a mom. Okay. According to the Facebook post by an it says Dominican University English Department, Good was also known as Renee McClin at the time and was named 2020 ODU College Poetry Prize undergraduate winner for poetry. Okay. And this was named Learning to Deceive the Fatal Pigs. I don't know what that means. Oh shit, that's crazy. Oh shit. Okay. Wow. Hmm. Let's move on. Okay. That threw me off. Wait a minute. I wonder what that was about. Ooh. Okay. Okay. The university describes her as being from Colorado Springs, Colorado, and studying creative writing and a ODU. Nothing that her work had appeared in literary publications that she had co-hosts with. This is noting that her work had appeared in literary publications. So she contributed to the poetry and arts community, wrote books, wrote poems. Mm, okay, fetal pig. I don't know pigs. Maybe that's something about it says okay. Maybe that's something about pigs, not the police. Okay, let's move on. I'll leave that article for you guys, the pig. But at the end of the day, we were told that she's an amazing human being. Now we're gonna move forward, and now we're gonna get into what the governor is saying. We have a post from Facebook. Let's watch this one, and then we're gonna watch the news. And he says, "Get the hell out." Get the hell out. Where's the volume at, guys? Hold on one second, guys. Bear with me. Thank you for being here with Miss Grace this morning as we break down.
Trump and Christie Nome, you've done enough.
Hold on. Comprehensively, what is happening out here. We don't tell one side, we tell all sides. Again, I'm a separatist. I'm on God's
And
side.
from here on, I have a very simple message. We do not need any further help from
Look
the
at
federal
that.
government. To Donald Trump and Christie Nome, you've done enough. There's nothing more important than Minnesotan safety. I've issued a warning order to prepare the Minnesota National Guard. We have soldiers in training and prepared to be deployed if necessary. I remind you, a warning order is a heads up for folks. And these National Guard troops are our National Guard troops. They're teachers in your community.
See?
They're business owners. They're construction professionals. They are Minnesotans.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota will not allow our community to be used as a prop in an
Now, why I'm saying because I remember I made the distinctions between ICE, the National Guard, and the Border Patrol. And the National Guard are usually held up in honor. Not saying that the other ones are not, because the National Guard are supposed to be there to build stuff, to, strategically plan operations and help execute it from a logistic term. Okay, so he's letting them know that these National Reservists that you're taking from our community, they are not part of this. They are not part of this BS. That's not who they are. And this is where you get that tone where the states wanting to separate from the feds. Y'all remember Texas was almost dead. Y'all remember a couple years ago, Texas was almost dead. Okay. So I see you guys in the audience, and I'm going to get to y'all comments. Let's listen to what he's saying, and then we're going to get to what y'all
national
saying in the
political
audience.
fight. We will not take the bait. We will continue to update you, Minnesota, as we get more information.
All
And
right.
from here on,
So let's get to what you're saying in the audience. She said, okay. So she was actively, what it says, flying around ICE agents all day, harassing them, impeding their jobs. Frank, where did you get that from? Could you send me the clip? Where did you get that information? Are you from that town? Let us know. At the end of the day, it is the public right to follow or to pay attention to what's going on. A lot of communities have things like crime watchers, things like that. I learned about that on the south side of Chicago, where they go around and they're recording stuff because guess what? The news is not paying attention or is giving obstructed information. So please prove that she was following him and doing whatever. But at the end of the day, we do have people who have been watching and paying attention and making sure that ICE is being recorded because guess what? That's one of the things we were supposed to talk about, the hundreds of thousands of dollars they're using on technologies to track us, and also the body cams that they were supposed to be wearing, that they were mandate to wear, that they are not. So I'm just going to have to keep that real. I'm not sure if that statement was correct. Jack, she had been ordered to exit the vehicle and she was surrounded. For the sake of the argument, even if the agent was not supposed to be in front of the car, doesn't give her a pass to run him over. Understandable, and I respect your statement. I kind of addressed that in a way how it could happen. Was it right? Was it not? But I appreciate that. It does not give no one the right, but when you're afraid, you don't know how you react. Some people just don't be in the middle with and then they just either curl up or they flight. So that's my say to that. And it says something about her being a poet. Frank, you say, yeah, Long Dixie, she was watching with her vehicle. Shut up. I see. That's why I be wanting to look at it before I say something. Thank you, Big Hurt. Thank you for saying I'm beautiful. I appreciate you. My name is Miss Grace. I'm here 3 days a week where we break things down non-biased. And I want to make sure I get to y'all comments. And people like, she don't get to the comments. Because I'll be setting up a broadcast for y'all and it be long-winded. I'll be having masked up to show you. I'll be having a whole layout. Y'all got to get the concepts. But it says in the words, this is Long Dixie, in the words of the police department, local official states, she was acting as a legal observer. Thank you for putting that down, to protect her neighbors and was not the target of the immigration operation. Thank you. Unfortunately, she made a bad decision by obstructing them, fleeing from the law enforcement. Not great choice. So that's what, Brad, I understand it could be perceived like that because I was looking like, why was her car diagonal? Now, if you're watching, you should watch from a safe distance because they be acting crazy like 30 feet back. You got to have some good cameras to do that, especially if you're a woman. I'm just being honest. Me going out there just giving food out to the homeless is dangerous. So I imagine following the police and recording them. She should know to keep a good distance. So I still want to know why her car was diagonal. Why was she trying to leave in the middle of the investigation or whatever was happening? That's why I said I want to know what was happening. Because how did her car get like that? Okay, y'all got some good comments. Thank you for being here in the audience this morning with me. I know y'all talking to each other. She ain't even from there. They weren't her neighbors. This is what Frank said. If you have some facts behind that, send that to me. Because they said that she's from there. The city council came out and talked to her. Okay, so hit the like button. Thank you for being here. Let's move this forward just a little bit because I do want to kind of talk about what the legal experts is saying, and we hear what the governor said. He's saying get the hell out. Get the hell out. Now, I had pulled up a whole lot of clips of what happened because things are so plain Jane. It's not too much for us to keep traumatizing ourselves and watching the clips because the last one that we watched that was on the south side with the young lady being shot 6 times and making it to a garage and surviving. Thank you, God. Was so weird. We had to break it down. And the other one where the gentleman was accosted after dropping his kid off to school. I think he was going to work and they unalived him as I guess he allegedly not allegedly, we saw him pulling off, but the same narrative was there that they tried to hit the police. So with that being said, I don't think that we're going to have to keep playing all of these clips to traumatize us this morning because we're going to have a hefty conversation, I kind of guess, based on the legalities of this as well and what other officials are saying. When they need federal assistance. Give me a second. So Trump reacts to ICE agent federal shooting woman. Okay, so you already know what he about to do. He like, I'm gonna take your money. I'm gonna take the money that we don't got. Fractional reserve banking. Shut up, y'all. I'm just playing. I'm not playing. Y'all know how this system's set up. I can't wait actually to talk about what's going on with China and Russia and right now with Venezuela. This is a financial war. So y'all get ready because I'm really trying to squeeze some lives in this week because we got some heavy hitters to talk about. We got to get ready financially, people. I know we're being distracted by all of this, but you're going to have to make some plans for your family in the future because there may be some markets that's going to collapse behind some of this. We did up. Let's watch what Trump has to say about this. Our troublemaking. Why? Why? I'm sorry, y'all. Jeez. Here on 24/7, but she pointed out a little while ago that where this shooting occurred is only about a mile from where George Floyd was killed back in 2020. So it's an entire neighborhood inside a city, inside a region and a state that's been reeling for several years because of law enforcement related activity. And we also do have witness statements that's coming up, okay, guys? So we are going to get into that. Thank you for reminding us. Where this shooting occurred is Miss Harris, 833. Thank you. Where George Floyd was killed back in 2020. So it's now you see that right there. I don't know why this keep going back, but I think that that's sensationalism. Now I feel some type of way about the George Floyd stuff, all of that. I don't like Candace Owens pulling his name up, but this is what they do. Try to sensationalize and connect certain things to pull the strings of us, even though we should be upset because not only is our governor our federal government waging war on, Caribbean islands, African islands, but it seems like they're waging war on us as well. Doesn't it seem like that? Haven't we been complaining since Trump coming in that we've been getting our ass kicked? Don't forget. To hear the governor and his public safety commissioner there call for calm in the coming hours and suggest there are peaceful ways to express opposition and concern and certainly understandable upsetness about what happened there, is foreshadowing what could occur should the response in the coming hours become more violent. And it's telling, I don't know if Paul Skanga has shared this bit here on 24/7, but she pointed out a little while ago that where this shooting occurred is only about a mile from where George Floyd was killed back in 2020. So it's an entire neighborhood inside a city, inside a region and a state that's been reeling for several years because of law enforcement related activity, because of the focus of this White House on Minnesota, given its Democratic control. And so the emotions there in that neighborhood and in that city, obviously quite raw. And we'll see how the White House and the federal government responds to it coming out. I have to agree. It would be raw because especially witnessing what happened with George Floyd and how that took place televised. And now you have another incident where another community member, same thing, televised. So there's protests all over taking place as they mentioned. We're going to show you that, but let's get to some of here we go. There go another angle, and we're gonna get to some of the witnesses who talk. Okay, because someone was like, Someone asked, did I see another angle? So let's see front angle video. Let's just see if we could get it a little bit more clearer instead of Trump view, the one they said they got off of Twitter.
Video. The president did put out a statement. I believe we have
There we
that
go.
for you.
This is what Trump got to say.
Agents just pulling up here. The vehicle is right there.
And it happens so fast that it's hard to see what takes place in this particular video, but that is the front angle, and then we have also obtained some video from behind where it happens, but that is the vehicle that belongs to the woman who was killed today. And as Randy said, there were 3 agents in particular surrounding the car. It's unclear why she was parked at an angle in the street, or what was happening in the street at that time. We do know that as they approached her vehicle, one agent told her to get out of the car, and then we see the car start to move, and then we hear the shots.
So that video you just saw is the one that President Trump also viewed this afternoon as well. And post watching that video, the president did put out a statement. I believe we have that for you. And it reads like this: I have just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator, and the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer who seems to have shot her in self-defense. We will say from
And I don't like that too, because these statements stay in the public forever, and that's pretty disgusting for him to actually say. Okay, um, he said that she violently, like she ran the ICE agent over, and that's not what happened. Then he's calling her an agitator, things like that. Like, as a president, come on now. It was cute and funny at first, but damn, could you just have some etiquette about you? Everybody you talk about, even in death, just pieces. Now, I used to be like, no, you could just who they are, just tell the truth. You know, it is what it is. But in this particular situation, come on, Mega. Come on, man. How many strikes against Trump could he get on his own life for saying BS? Like, sheesh.
Willfully and viciously ran over the ICE officer who seems to have shot her in self-defense. We will say from our observations, the officer does not appear to have been on the pavement. He was in front of that bumper at the time, but we never saw from any of our angles him hit the pavement. He goes.
Oh, we have to show you something, because we found the article as we was cooking that this dude went to the hospital.
Willfully and viciously ran over the ICE officer who seems to have shot her in self-defense. We will say from our observations, the officer does not appear to have been on the pavement. He was in front of that bumper at the time, but we never saw from any of our angles him hit the pavement. He goes on to say, is there more of the president's statement, or is this the full context? He goes on to say they are just trying to do a job of making America safe. We need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers from this, and these are his words, radical left movement of violence and hate. Again, that was President Trump's
This is what he has to say
as he watched the video earlier.
And then we have the clip of the perspective from behind the vehicle as well that we want to show you. So you've seen the perspective from the front, and now we're going to show you the perspective from behind, from somebody who had a cell phone out at the scene when all of
the story. What? I thought they was doing the operation. Wait, was they getting a car out the snow? Or wait, can we listen to that? That's why we listened to a few different things. Thank God I didn't skip. What? And then we also gonna find out how was the officer hurt, because you hear her several times say no one's on the floor. You see the officer standing. I have another clip here that indicates the officer allegedly was hurt and went to the hospital. What? Let's listen to this one more time, guys. Y'all heard that? About were we doing the ICE operation or somebody stuck in the snow? I hear people in the audience saying that, you know, she ride by yelling at them, things like that, which many protesters are doing. They literally at their hotels yelling all night, playing bongo, just being honest. That is part of our peaceful protest, or how can I say, invasive protest.
Willfully and viciously ran over the
Let's
ICE
get it to the
officer
end.
who seems to have shot her in self.
Department of Homeland Security
Okay,
Secretary Christine
so
Noem.
what do y'all make of the change of the story right here? Now we hear that they wasn't under any investigation. There was nothing going on as far as they were doing the ICE operation. So it's the lies for me. That's why we watch so many different stories, because they start to mutate and change. And then this is what I want to tell you guys: the term of them using domestic terrorism is very dangerous. You have to realize that we, the people, they are using the term against us, domestic terrorists. Okay, and the definition of domestic terrorists is being mutated, elongated. The lines are blurred, and anyone can become one, especially based on our president's feelings. So be careful with accepting that word of domestic terrorists when you have people actually doing what they're supposed to do, and that's called neighborhood watch their own community. Again, what I've witnessed on the South Side related to that case, to jump out of at another aspect, that the community had to start policing their police, because the police was just rogue, not taking police report. People would end up dying. No real investigation going on the South Side. Shout out to the Illinois State Police. I'm coming. I'm coming. I didn't forget. I didn't forget about you. Okay, no threats. I'm a paper warrior, so I just do my thing like, okay. So with that goes to say, it is our right to police our neighborhoods, pay attention to what's going on, especially if it is a particular area that we have rogue law enforcement. Okay, for instance, we have rogue law enforcement in Newark, where we had the drug and task force unit just beating up people. We had to come down as a people and shut that shit down by making reports, getting real investigations done, taking it higher. So for her to be out there and other people to be out there, we don't want to say that they were wrong, and then they start putting them as domestic terrorists, because damn it, we all gonna be domestic terrorists in the eyes of these daggone people. Now let's just watch something from an eyewitness to see if the eyewitness has something to say. This is, hold on, I want to make sure that we get a word from an eyewitness actually, and not just the news. Give me 1 second. I think I have 2 clips. Yes. And we're going to put it up there. And also, I'm going to put a clip at the bottom that I'm not going to show you guys, but it's called Status Coop. Status Coop has been on this immigration thing. I'll show you guys. They have like the full broadcast of what's going on, because they have boots on the ground. So I'll show you that in a second, but I do want to show you another content creator who is consistent that's on it and showing boots on the ground and not just the news. Okay, so eyewitness account of woman shot by ICE in Minneapolis. Let's see what the eyewitness is saying now. It's the contradictions for me, and but let's get to it, y'all. Please hit the like button. Thank you for being with us this morning. Sorry we have to, broadcast such tragedy, but remember, Miss Nichole Good, she is a human being at the end of the day. And we are alike, no matter how different you think you are. Okay? Okay, Mega.
He's been on scene since early this afternoon.
Act like your
and
mama.
You saw protesters throwing snowballs at local law enforcement who were there for crowd control, also blocking and pounding vehicles when those federal agents were on scene. You also spoke to some people who gave you their account of what they saw.
Yes, Brandy, Kelsey, it's been a long day for many people. When I came here, protesters were asking Minneapolis police to arrest ICE. Now, they were at it for hours. Just take a look at the video yourself. Local law enforcement broke down the barricades and left the intersection as protesters followed, and they threw snowballs at police. Once police left, the community blocked off the road to hold a community vigil for Renee Nicole Good. And I talked to one eyewitness who saw everything unfold this morning.
I heard commotion from about a half a block away. I walked towards the scene, and there was a maroon Honda kind of sideways in the road. And people were shouting move your car, you're obstructing the road. And the car began to back up and then pull forward at maybe 2 miles an hour. And then someone started to shout, no, no. And then a moment later, 4 or 5 shots were fired into the vehicle.
But this lady right there, she's just trying to help somebody else. Stop. All right, call the police. Call the police on her. Instead of trying to snatch your car door open, go over there and do the proper thing. Don't do it aggressively. How's that going to get solved?
What was she trying to do?
Again, these these are eyewitnesses. There's a lot of unknown with a lot of unanswered
What was
questions
she trying to
as
do,
this is
y'all?
under investigation. But one thing is for certain, the community was loud and clear on how they felt about today's event, and they're actually still going behind me over my shoulder chanting F ICE. That is what they're chanting over and over again. Live in Minneapolis, Leon Purvis, Fox 9.
All right. Now we're gonna get to it. Y'all don't put that much emojis inside of the chat. Okay, I understand if y'all support ICE, and Trump, but we're not the channel for that, and they're gonna think that we're some spamming going on. So let's talk about it. Now I want to look for the the clip that said that the police had basically said that he was injured. Former King County Sheriff called Delhi. Okay, this is what it is. This is according to the New York Post. According to the New York Post, it states the ICE agent who shot woman in Minneapolis hospitalized. Stupid pop up, y'all. That's why I'm not showing y'all. Was hospitalized after being hit by a vehicle. Trump says hard to believe he is still alive. Oh my God, it's the bullshit for me. Come on now. My Trump lover better put all that hearts in there. Y'all over there living in an imaginary world. It's hard to believe he's still alive. No, first and foremost, he should not have been in front of that car. Should not have been in front of that car, and there was no type of operation going on. So we need to figure out. What it sound like is that ICE was stuck somewhere. That lady probably went and made fun of their asses, and they got mad and told her to pull over. And she said, hell no, I'm leaving. I'm just making up my own scenario. And then they did this. This is what I'm thinking, because it wasn't no operation. Let me know. People say she was chasing them, obstructing them in the middle of their duty. Now we're hearing that ICE was stuck trying to get out of somewhere. So it says the ICE agent who shot and killed the woman in Minneapolis was hospitalized and lucky to be alive after the disorderly woman hit him with the vehicle, President Trump said. The woman driving the car was very disorderly. This is kind of like a replay of his stupid statement. I'm just keeping it real. And disrespectful statement and unverified statement like he always do. The woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting who they violently, who was violent and willfully vicious to the officer and was ran over. Well, hold on. I'm sorry. Was violent and vicious and ran over ICE. I do apologize. I'm doing too much dramatic. My eyes going cross. Who seemed to have shot her in self-defense. Okay. Again. So wait, is it anybody else reporting that was she in the hospital? Because it's stupid Trump. It's stupid Trump. It ain't no news. Hold on. Let's see. It's hard to believe that he is still alive. This is Trump's statement, but he is now recovering in the hospital, he said, before blasting the anti-ICE sentiment that has been taking root in the political left scene of his administration, against his administration. New York Times, man, y'all a little weird as hell. Now, who else is saying that this man was in the hospital? You see what I'm saying? Trump be a whole bold-faced damn lie. So that other news didn't report that he said that the officer was in the hospital, that when we heard Trump's statement. But now we're hearing that this hospital statement is coming from Trump. Now let's see if this is the truth, ICE. I mean, not ICE, Mega. That don't make no damn sense. Come on, why are you going to add salt to the wound when you out here trying to hide from the Epstein files? Don't think I forgot. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I want to get to some statistics as well. Let me see if I have any more clips to show you guys. Yes, let me get into the legal aspects of it. And then we're going to get to some of the statistics of ICE arrest. They're winning, how much they detain versus how much they deported. We're going to talk about that, okay? And I want some clarification to the numbers, guys. You may have to clarify it for me, my Mega, because y'all know everything. So some of these numbers sound weird as hell, but I said bump it. I'm just going to let y'all tell it. But before we go there, former King County Sheriff calls deadly Minneapolis shooting avoidable. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not an officer of the law. I just grew up around a federal ICE agent, even though we used to argue. But I definitely know that this shit ain't right. So let's play this right here. Hold up. And God, Let my beautiful computer stop starting all the way at the end. Y'all bear with me, y'all. Okay, let's go.
Violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer, who seems to have shot her in self-defense. It is hard to believe he is alive, end quote. Christy Nome echoed that.
So you see nobody else is reporting that the officer went to the hospital except for stupid Trump. I'm just keeping it real. Let's go. Let's listen to this broad, Christy Nome. She going to jail
quickly
too.
And defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. Former King County Sheriff and King 5 law enforcement analyst John Urquhart watched the video of the shooting. This is his take.
Thank you. I'm sorry, y'all. I have to clap and say, yep. The common person who reads and pay attention to law, and that's what I had to do over the last year, that these officers are directed directly never to get in front of a car and directly not to shoot at the car coming head on at you because it's stupid. It's stupid. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being human and reading the book.
Police equivalent of don't run with scissors.
He also
That's
said
stupid.
President Trump and Christy Nome publicly reacted far too soon.
It's beyond the pale. It's pathetic. You don't jump to conclusions. You don't prejudge a police-involved shooting. That's just not done.
Thank
Former
you.
police officer of 43 years, mostly in leadership positions, Urquhart has led several investigations into officer-involved shootings.
It's a black mark on the leadership of the profession, which I was.
Black mark.
It's a black mark when that happens.
Anybody who cares about evidence-based practice, quality assurance, that things that they know that's going to work for their profession, they feel like that. Shout out to you, sir, because that's how I feel about nursing. COVID was a black mark. This is a black mark. This repeated behaviors of officers doing stupid things that are out of the norm of a normal person's reaction, let alone an officer who's trained. Thank you for saying it. It's a black damn mark. Let's go. I'm talking about truth. I'm talking about honor. We can't even honor these people who supposed to be in positions of authority. Authority doesn't mean just having power over people. You want to be able to honor these people who have authority in positions that's key in our community. We can't even honor them because they pieces of shit. I'm sorry, y'all. I got upset. Let's go. Let's go.
Urquhart says in the police academy, officers are trained not to stand in front of vehicles. He says the idea is to avoid a tragedy like the one in Minneapolis. Reporting in downtown Seattle, I'm Maddie White, King 5 News.
You see what I'm saying? This is why we all need, look at it. Oh, that, Mega. Shut up. I got you, Mega. Mega, that was you, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm messing with y'all, Mega. Came up smiling on my damn screen. What the hell wrong with y'all? Okay. Obviously, that made my day because she's talking sense. You see, I only don't talk from the heart. I talk from common sense. Things that's going to be the greater good for the whole community. That's evidence-based. What would be best for everyone, not just me, for everyone to follow? What is a social norm? So it says, what is this? This says ABC News has verified the video, the moment. So we got that one. Now, oh my goodness. Let's get to one more. A legal aspect of this. Thank you, Jesus. Is this another broadcast? Shout out to NBC. Was that NBC? Shit, God, I had some common sense. Jesus, Lord. Let me see if this is the same clip. If it's not, we're going to just be moving on to the numbers, and we're going to start wrapping up this live. I want to say thank you for being with us.
Almost there, and you see some of those officers running up. So we'll re-rack it back to the video.
Shots that are in the front windshield or the front.
So this is another legal analysis of this, not the same one. Okay, let's watch this real quick and see what they have to say. It's 4 minutes. I need us to think like we grown here, okay? Like we don't want our kids to go through this. Like we want to make sure these things don't be repetitive in our community, in our nation. And also we want to make sure that these things are stopped because guess what? Now we're having the Fed against the state. This was what we was talking about a couple of months ago. I'm like, damn, they trying to get civil war every which way they could. Civil war. They couldn't get it against black on black. We wasn't going to act crazy and fuck up everything in our neighborhood that y'all try to make. Couldn't do white on black because we don't engage with you guys because we ain't beat after all of this stuff and incitement. That's not going to work. Then you do white on white crime with Antifa versus this, left versus right. These are all psychological operations, I think, to start one of the implications of Shut up. One world order. Shut up. The 10 Creams theory. Shut up. By having us fall victim to this shit. And every way they try to do it is not happening because as human beings, we fall back when we rock like, oh, it's getting too crazy. But them, they don't fall back. That's why, and I'm saying them because Trump cannot be human to me. He's not human. He has to be a them. Because all the shit he's doing and continue to do, no way is he fucking human. I know I went to the left, but I just had to tell you how I feel about him. I think he's an alien or a fallen one, but we'll keep that moving.
And Jim, I just want to pause for a moment.
Now,
to
this
show
is
that
another
video again.
legal
Tell me what
analysis,
you see
y'all.
from your-
You, Frank?
Where the video begins.
It's
a
called the
second
plain. Now,
angle
you
here
call
now.
it treason. I call it the daggone devil. Inhumane animals.
You see the person in the car, the woman in the car, she pulls away. There's an officer who had fired a shot. At this point in the video, the officer appears to have already shot, and then you see she crashes into the cars in front, and those officers run. So while we re-wrap this video, Jim, talk us through moment by moment. Here it is.
So there's three ICE agents in the video here, Hallie. You
He's
see
pulling at the door
first
handle.
one
You can
closest.
see. Yep.
Right, that's two there, and there's one in front of the SUV. You can just barely see him.
Yep.
And he's the one who fires his weapon. So, who fired his weapon? That's the third one, the one toward the front of the car.
Right, the furthest from our perspective.
Did he have the furthest from our perspective, did he have a reasonable belief that he was in great, imminent threat of great bodily harm or serious injury from the vehicle? That's got to be, his belief. If it is his belief, and if in fact a reasonable person could assume that, then he could use deadly force. He would.
Exactly. That's exactly what I stated earlier in the broadcast. These are the things that we have to consider. As people say, oh, she ran into ICE. It is why was he in front of the car? Was it justified for him to be there and to use that form of deadly force on her? And then we're going to have to consider the precedents, the cases that already have been settled with cases like similar to this. Shout out to Alexis Wilson case, the one I've been investigating and still investigating between me and you. Right here, these are cases that precedent the same thing that has been settled and right now has been struck back down into state court. Go rewind and watch the broadcast. You'll know what I'm talking about. And I literally sound just like him, just with a different tone. Okay. As you guys know, if you don't know, my name is Miss Grace. I'm not only a professional nurse, but I am a legal nursing consultant by way of certification. What I have found from that practice is that I love to research law. I don't like law doing us dirty, and I don't want to be a lawyer, but I research law. So that's why we have these type of robust lives. This is where I come from. So I'm a different kind of content creator, okay? Just to give y'all a heads up. But y'all know I was sounding just like him, just sound a little hood that would. I was just sound a little hood that would. Let's go.
Be justified. If, however, he was not, a reasonable person couldn't say, well, no, he wasn't in any threat at all, so therefore he could not use deadly force, and that could be a homicide. But, for example, say the shots were all through the side glass window, Hallie, the passenger side glass window. Well, that would not be a justified use of force in a case like this because the vehicle would be already past the agent.
Mm-hmm.
So, shots that one to the United States attorney and one to the district attorney to make a decision. It's a high bar to charge a federal agent with a crime here. It's a high bar because the proof has to be beyond a reasonable doubt, for a homicide. And so it's going to be a high bar there. The prosecutors make the decision in the end whether they want to proceed on something, but the agencies will make a recommendation whether they see it as justified or not. They will present the facts, the clear facts in their total investigation. We have a snippet of a look today. We don't have everything. It's hard for us to tell everything. So it could go either way. It appears the victim was just there, maybe protesting ICE or trying to do something with ICE, not letting people go down the street. And when she was confronted or being interviewed or tried to be interviewed by the ICE agents, she didn't want to be interviewed. She wanted to leave. And she drove away. We don't know her exact intent, but she clearly doesn't want to respond to their orders.
So we're hearing more, okay, where they engaged her, maybe because she was cop watching. So we're getting more detail about that. Now, we're going to get to y'all comments real quick because I wanted to get to, just the legal aspects of it, having different people talk. We had an officer, and this person is another law official. And I gave y'all my research analysis of it from what I know and what's going on. Now, let's get to your comments because, again, we want to make sure that you guys have a word. There's always consequences for every action. Definitely, yes. But with legal considerations, we're going to have to put all the pieces together because this, too, we have to consider, was the officer life actually in danger? Because we do see him from his angle being able to shoot in front of the car, but it's literally, he did a turn. Like he did a pivot turn, never hitting the floor, never looking like he was, oh my God, disengaged. Like the other officer you saw literally getting up from the floor, if y'all don't remember, on the tail inside that fell. And he was all the way in the back. That officer who allegedly got hit by the car never fell. His body just pivoted over to the other side and was able to shoot at an angle. Remember that they have different videos of this, so we have to keep that in mind. What about the young girl killed by the Capitol Police officer on January 6th? Where is the protesting for her? Stop gaslighting. This has nothing to do with her particular situation. Remember, guys, we're adults here, so we ask to kind of stay on the subject matter and don't deter. One of the things that I do hate when I get into little squirrels with my teenage kids is like, what about this? What about that? And it's like, wait a minute. No, we're talking about this. We're not doing distractions. Let's stay focused. So that's something else. January 6th was something that was commenced from Trump and his supporters. And you said, like you said, people got to fuck around and find out. They got to fuck around and find out. I didn't want that lady to die. I don't think that she should be there, but that was a distraction. Moving forward, where is your proof? And this is from Highly Favored. Shout out to you. I guess y'all was having some discussion. Where is your proof? And what if she was? It's not illegal to be an activist. Exactly. It is certainly not punishable by unjustified murder. We're living in a whole nother time, Highly Favored, and obviously a lot of mega supporters, they support unjustified murder. That's why we're about to get into our umpteenth war and invasion. Shout out to Trump and Venezuela because it's like, hey, go ahead, take their tankers, do what the fuck you want to do, blow up them damn tanks. We don't give a fuck because we're maker. We don't have we have no consequences. We're saying that we're a follower of Jesus Christ, but we're calling Jesus and we're going to be condemned in hell. That type of stuff. I'm just being honest. Y'all just big ass contradictions. Y'all saw how Mega jumped on my screen. I wish I could get that commercial. Mega. I'm going to have to cut that. Now, moving on. Thank you for being here. Everyone in the chat, Long Dixie, where's the camera from the front? We did show that. Hope you got a better picture. Chris Reed, excuse me. It says, what makes you think that you can accelerate towards anyone in front of the car? We kind of hit that where we talked about the psychological elements of the flight and flight, also highlighting that this is not the first case like this. I named 3 cases or 2 cases like this where the young person or the person accelerated on the gas when the cops was there, and one is being shot down from the Supreme Court to be reevaluated. Okay, so we're going to talk about that when we kind of go more into the legalities of ICE behavior and the downfall of thereof for us, because we're going to have to pay like we were. Yeah. While they take our tax money for war, now they're going to be settling lawsuits and shit, cutting all these programs, no new programs, our educational system going down the drain. Hold up. Let me go on a tangent real quick. And are y'all getting all of these damn AI commercials? You know what I'm talking about? Like social media commercials where they're saying, hey, have your kids been affected by social media? Are they suffering from depression, anxiety, hostile behavior? Well, sign up for this lawsuit today because there is $100 million lawsuit now. So we have a whole generation who has been tested and experimented on, subjected to AI and everything while we're trying to come out of this shit. I'm sorry, I went on a rampage. Y'all know I do it sometimes because I gotta just unload, get it off my chest. Feels good. Okay, stay focused, y'all. Okay, now what we're gonna do is, I got some of y'all comments. I'm sorry I can't get to all of them. What I want to do is just close off with the statistics because our next live is actually going to highlight these things. These were the questions that I wanted to ask.
The car, or we want to talk.
Nah, hold on one second. The questions that I wanted to ask prior when we got off the January 1st live, the update about the National Guard, Border Patrol, the difference of thereof, and sorry for the loss of that National Guard agent, the psyops that they're running on us. But I wanted to ask how many people were actually criminals who were arrested by ICE? How many people were deported? How many people were detained? Now, I had got that number, but I was told that the actual people that was in detention right now is 68,400 thereof possibly. But they're saying like a big number was deported. So I'm trying to figure out because you got to go through detention, do detention. So I think I got to do actively detained versus just release. I don't know because the numbers just sound so weird. So it says as of late 2025, ICE has detained over 65,000 individuals in custody right now, with the report of 234,000 removals. Okay, almost Mm-hmm. 200, almost 250,000 people removed according to the latter part of the year. The Trump administration reports over 605,000 removals and 598,000 arrests. Okay, so that is the number that I was looking at. So if you have 595,000 arrests, half of them was deported, 65,000 detained. You think the rest was released? We're going to have to get them statistics because they said that they were dropping people where they wasn't supposed to be dropped. Okay, I'm just looking at the numbers here. Meanwhile, daily detention populations reach records high, exceeding 59,000 to 65,000 by the late 2025. ICE detention versus deportation. Detention. As of November 30th, roughly 65,000 reported were in detention. Now, we went into the ICE facility and we do know at least 35 have been unalive in the custody of ICE. A good majority, they're saying that was suicide, but we don't believe that. And we were crying out for one of the old ladies there who was allegedly suffering from CHF, and that is congestive heart failure, and they wasn't giving her medicine. Please watch that video from 1-1. They were begging for her just to let her out, and literally the inmates are taking care of her while they just give her Tylenol. This is what's going on. Lawsuit's going to be up the ass. This is another form of genocide. Okay, next to this is the second goal, the genocide for me. Well, let's move over. Now it's not the nurses that's the front line, kind of like, oh my God, what's going on? They got the next front line officials there with the panties in y'all asses. Y'all gonna have to make the right decisions just like I did. And I'm gonna throw that out to you guys. If y'all don't know, I was a COVID nurse. I went to New York. I was getting paid $10,000 a week. I stayed there a week and a half and I bounced. Okay, I was in Long Island College Hospital with the proof. Some of them survived despite nursing and doctors. ICE frontline workers, I'm talking to you. You better make a decision, baby. Is your soul. Moving forward, interior versus border. That's why I have passion for this too as well. While interior removal dropped, the interior of deportation of deporting lowered to 38,000 annually. The border remover allegedly has increased 224,000. So I'm going to figure out what they mean by interior versus the border. Maybe from the inside. They're saying from the inside is less coming out than from the border, but I'm not sure because we're not paying attention to who's trying to come in the border. We don't know who's over there. He's not telling us how many troops are at the border. Are they actually making the wall? That's what the National Guard is supposed to do. Construct the wall. And Border Patrol supposed to be there. And ICE is supposed to be doing real investigations, kind of doing this like private eye instead of coming out doing this shit. Doing this shit. I'm sorry, I got distracted. Now, that was one of the statistics that I just wanted to exit with because our next live, we're going to be talking about the continued ramp up of ICE procedures across the United States while our president aims to go to war with anybody and everybody. And then tomorrow, I need you guys to tune in. We're going to get into the mechanics of what's going on with Venezuela, Russia, and China. We're going to be talking about the oil. We're going to be talking about the canals, the issue, because we finding out that what happened with them stealing Maduro is deeper than just that cocoa. Or it was fentanyl, but now it's cocoa. You know how they changed the story, but it's deeper than that. And guess what? Some of the things I brought up to you guys about the change of selling um, oil between countries was the catalyst. Something took place December 25th that I want to talk to you guys about that China did, and it was directly connected to Venezuela. Venezuela was literally cutting America off from its oil source as of December 25th, and I'm going to prove it to you tomorrow with the facts as we deep dive. So us, are you part of the separatist crowd now? You ain't a Democrat, Republican. Even if you is, I don't hate you, but I'm a separatist. We separate from the bullshit and we highlight the truth because we under our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So with that goes to say, I gave y'all a mouthful. This was a long live. I want to say thank you for being with us today. Thank you so much. Give me a second. We about to give y'all an outro video. And if y'all don't know why I stream like this, it's because I have been blackballed. I've been blackballed by the South Side of Chicago and the Democratic psychopaths and activists. And literally, you're seeing somebody fighting the algorithm. Y'all go look at the videos that I upload versus right now, and you're going to see a big difference. And I'm fighting the algorithm. But guess what? I don't care, because guess who walked with us over here? Who walked with you? Hit the like button, baby. Please. Let's go. Hit the like button if you like Miss Grace.